Thank you so much, dear Valentino, for introducing me. I'm Emanuele Isidori. I'm from the University of Rome for Italico, where I am the Vice Rector for International Relations and Cooperation. I've been studying for many years the topics dealing with the Greek by day education. I have a double master's degree. My first master's degree is in classical philology. I studied at the University of Rome for Italico, and my second master's degree is in philosophy with a focus on pedagogy. And I earned two PhDs. My first PhD is in educational sciences, and my second PhD is on physical activity and health. What I have told you about my CV, just to show you the long process, the long path I have walked through to achieve, to elaborate a reflection upon the ancient Greek paideia and the ancient sport and the contemporary Olympism. And after it will follow an intervention and presentation by my colleague Dikaia, who is another expert, a real great expert in the field of Olympic education. In my university, I teach philosophy and Olympic education, which is actually the only course on the sports philosophy and Olympic education officially taught in Italy. I'm very proud of this because I started this course more than 15 years ago in cooperation with our colleagues of mine from the medical area. So it was also for me an achievement this to share this course on Olympic education with my colleagues from medicine, who usually are not so familiar, that are not so interested in the topics dealing with the sports humanities. So today, what I want to do is just to provide you a short introduction. I have a few slides. I prepare a presentation, and this presentation will be available for the instructor, teachers, and for you if you want to deepen the concept of Agon within Western culture. And I come there. Thank you. What I want to do today is to provide you a short introduction to the concept of Agon. What is Agon? This is the meanings of this short speech. I will not develop all as just said, all the discourse on agonality and Agon, which is a very central topic within Western culture. But we can start saying that the Greek civilization is an agonal civilization. What does it mean to say that the ancient Greek civilization was an agonal civilization? It means that the Greek based their culture on the concept of agon. What does it mean, agon? Agon is not only the name of the foundation, the association, is only the concept inspiring the festival, the spirit of the festival, and the values of the festival. So we can affirm that the Greeks were pioneered the concept of agon. This term represents a holistic approach combining both mental and physical aspects for conflict resolution. And it promotes the concept agon, promotes peaceful and not aggressive methods to channel aggression, emphasizing individual virtue. Through this process, the process of agon, I will explain the root of the term agon, merit is recognized, and there is a focus on upholding the community's laws, rules, and values, ensuring equal participation rights for everyone. So if you look at the slide and you reflect upon the meanings of agon, you can understand how the Olympism and the Olympic education and the education inspired by democracy is rooted in the agon principle. what agon means from an etymological point of view. The word agon is rooted to, is connected to a root, ag. The root ag, it's a very ancient root coming from Indo-European languages, from which, they say that all the Western and other continents languages originated from. Ag, the root ag. Where do we find the root ag in some words they use commonly in our everyday life? Agonia, but have you ever heard the word agora? Agora. What means agora? The Romans translated the term agora by forum, but it's not to represent the same. Agora. Forum represents the open space. Forum. Agora. Agora comes from the same root. Agora is the square. What do we do when we are in a square? Think of the square we have in our city and in all the cities. In the Netherlands, you have ancient cities, medieval cities. In Italy, we have the civilization of the cities. The agora is the very heart of an Italian city, of a city in the Netherlands. The agora is the square. And what do we do when we are in the square? We meet, we discuss, we talk about issues, we talk about others. In a square, we are under the eyes of all the people in the square. So we are under the eyes of others. So the spirit of the agora, the spirit of the square, is connected to the spirit of agon. Agon means in ancient Greece means assembly. It means gathering, together, to stay together, and to recognize each other, to recognize that we are all equal. They are all citizens. They have all the same rights. We are homoioi. Another fundamental concept, which is at the very basis of the Western civilization, or Western democracy. So the term agon and the term agones was used in ancient Greece to identify specific games called Olympic Games. The Olympic Games, which were the most representative sports competition at some time. But there were not only the Olympic Games. There were every city of Greece, every polis, a city-state. We usually translate the term polis by the term city-state, but it's not correct. It's not correct also the translation in English and Italian. So the polis is more than a city-state. So every polis plural in Greece has a specific sports competition and so on. So the terms agones were in ancient Greece the competition. So agon means competition, but at the same time means assembly. It means judgment. Judgment why? Get back to the concept agora. In the agora, we are under the eye of everybody, which is around us. We are in the agora, we are all equal. We are all homoioi. Homoioi. What does it mean to be homoioi? That we are all equal. And when the Homeric heroes needed to speak, they form a circle, enabling them to face one another as they engaged in duels, competed in sports, distributed spoils, made judgments, or deliberated decisions. So the concept of agon, which means competition, is connected to not the metaphor, but to a visual space, the visual space of the circle. Because the circle is the visual synthesis, the visual concept which is capable of resuming and summing up the very essence of the agon. In the circle, think of a circle. When your teachers want to teach you to deliver a speech, in the circle, we are all together. We are all equal. We have so we recognize that we are homoioid. That is to say, we are the same right to speech, to take part in the conversation, to show ourselves. The circle. The circle represents the very essence of agon, the very essence of competition, the very essence of democracy. Yes, because the concept of agon is connected to democracy. There are three concepts. We are debtors to ancient Olympic Games. Everything originated few meters far from here. You have never to forget it. You have to understand the relevance, the importance of the place we are in. So, democracy. There are three concepts. We are debtors to sport. I will tell you why. The Olympic Games were celebrated, the first edition of the Olympic Games were celebrated in 776 before Christ. And the first winner of the Olympic Games was a cook. Not a warrior, a nobleman, was a cook, a quack. So the Olympic Games, the first winner of the Olympic Games was a cook. So somebody that for sure was not from a noble origin, so a cook. So it means that in that competition, the first competition in the athletic competition, so the first to win was not a warrior, was not a noble, was a simple and humble cook. This is very important in the history of Western culture because for the first time we have a man who is not noble, who is not rich, to win a competition along with others who were from noble origins. We can think of also in the Olympic Games that usually take part noblemen, also really noble people, or there were also kings take part in the Olympic Games. Things and so there were so many important people taking part. But the first to win Olympic Games was a cook. So what does it mean for the Western democracy? That in the ancient times, in the ancient Olympic Games, everybody recognized as Greek citizens who take part in Olympic Games. And this concept, the right to participate and to be recognized as equal to others is at the very base of democracy. And so we can affirm that democracy, which originated, which started to develop in the 5th century before Christ, with the Olympic Games, we are in the 18th century before Christ. So democracy is younger than sports. So the Olympic Games were celebrated 70. That we are debtors to the Olympic Games of one of the first principles of democracy that the ancient Greeks called Isidori. Agorei, the root ag. We found in agora, we found in agon. Isidori. Isos equal agorei. It's a verb to take part as equal, to have the right to be recognized as equal. This is the first concept. The Western civilization, which we represent here, the Western civilization, we are adapted to ancient Olympic Games and sport. Second concept, the isonomia. Isonomia, isos, equal, in front of what? In front of the law. From a juridical point of view, we have the right to be judged according to the same rules. We are all equals in front of the laws of our countries. This is at the very base of democracy. We are all equals and we have the right and we must be judged according to the same rules, not to different weights and to different measures, but the same system. And this second concept was at the very base of the agonal Olympic Games. That is to say, you have to know that the polis, the ancient Greek polis, had each a different judgment system, different laws, different system. For example, there were some, you could be considered guilty in a polis for something you have done, or for a theater, and not to be in charge of the and be seen as guilty in another polis. So this means that in ancient Greece, every polis had a different juridical system and different laws. So the concept that was established at the Olympic Games, the idea that the isonomia, that is to say, the right to be judged according to the same laws and rules system, was a concept which originated from the agonal philosophy of the Olympic Games. The second concept we have there. And the third concept, I add this because so these two concepts about these two concepts reflected one of the most representative, great archaeologists of sports, of ancient Greek sport. I'm referring to who died, unfortunately, passed away a couple of years ago, Stephen Miller. Probably you have met this person so many times. I met him here in this place, and so I'm so sad to think of this great man who was escaped in Nemea and was really the father of Nemea. And the third concept, I add this concept, my research unit added this concept, the concept of isocratia. Isocratia is the third concept we are debtors to the ancient Greeks and the ancient sport. Isocratia. Kratos means power, and isocratia, it means to have the same power. But power intended not something that one has to destroy others, to destroy the people you are under you. So something which is connected to the supremacy of others. But the power conceived of and seen as a possibility to do something bad or good according to the values you have inside. And the isocratia in the Olympic Games means, in ancient times, means to have the power, the possibility to take part in a competition and to win, and to have the results of your performance acknowledged and recognized by others. And so isocratia means that you have the power to take part in a competition and to have the merit you have achieved recognized by others around you. This is the third concept at the very base of democracy, the right to participate in the elections, the political elections, and to be elected, to be voted and elected. So from Agon originating the culture of democracy, and one of the main principle of Western philosophy, or Western culture, or Western democracy, the idea that we are all equals and nobody has the right to be on others, and to the agonal system was a system whose aim was to recognize and acknowledge the merit of people. the merit. So, and to at the same time, this agonal philosophy was at the very base of that philosophy of moderation, which was at the very base of Greek paideia education. That is to say, the idea that we are all equal. When you win a competition, for example, you have always to be humble, to practice self-control on yourself, so as to avoid to be aggressive and violent against others. Because the Greeks didn't have the concept of sin like we have. No, the concept of sin can be seen as an invention by, for example, Paul from Tarsus, which was influenced by Hebraism and so on. But the Greeks, they have the worst sins. I'm using the term sins, and the sins, the worst sins that in ancient time could be found in a man was so-called hubris, to feel humble, because the ancient Greeks, they really were found in this desire of prevailing on others, of oppressing the others. This is something dangerous for the community. And so sports was a part of this system of moderation, the system to prevent aggression and violence. The famous motto, Gnotis Auton, it's a sportive motto. And your classes, I'm sure that your teacher instructions have never reflected upon the term Gnotis Auton. There are people who say that authors that the motto Gnotis Auton, the Apollinian motto, originated from the creator of the motto who pronounced for the first time this motto was Heraclitus. But when you visit Delphi, you'll see this motto on a rock of the temples of Apollon in Delphi. So, what's the real meaning of this term, which is a sportive term, a sportive motto? Gnosis Auton does not mean to explore your soul, to investigate inside you. But Gnosis Auton means recognize your limit. Because I can explain you why this verb means. Because the term gnoti, which is an imperative from the verb gnoskein, does not mean to explore yourself, meditate on what you do inside you and your heart and so on, but means to recognize your limit. And the system of sport was this, let's just say, and also the crowns that were awarded the winners of the Olympic Games were made from something we could die. So you see, no? The famous, for example, when you win in ancient Greece, they win the Nemean Games. The prize was what do you say in English? A salary, wild salary. It was a sedano selvatico salary. Why? Now I want to conclude and to stress this thing. So the salary is something that died. No, if you put salary anywhere in our soups when you have salary is something really. But for the Greeks, these herbs were very important because they testify not only the character of mortality of the victory, but also, for example, in the case of Sarri, was a symbol of rebirth. Because in ancient times they used to bring so as to honor the memory of their beloved dead ones. So in ancient times, the Greeks used to put on the graves the on the graves of their dead ones, their beloved dead ones, celery. Like in Italy, we used to put on the graves usually chrysanthemums. The Greeks put. So it's interesting to know that so in sport the celery becomes from a symbol of death to a symbol of life, a symbol of rebirth. And so it's like to say, okay, we, the humans, we are mortal. We'll never survive, but as individuals. But we, as species, will survive, and sport is a tool to perpetuate the memory of our species, of our community, our culture. So in the ancient Greeks, they found in sport a way to survive to the death and the end of life, and to celebrate their love for the gods and for the humanity. And so we have to look at sport like a possibility that the human beings have to survive and to perpetuate the memory of their civilization and their values. And this is the lesson, in my opinion, that we can take out from some sport and make it the core values of our life. Thank you. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm sorry for having, I don't know, taken too much of this concept, but these are, reflecting upon this concept in part of my life as a scholar in the field of the sports humanities. Now it's a pleasure for me to give the floor to my colleague Dikaia Chatziefstathiou from the Christian University of Canterbury, UK. Thank you.
Hello everybody. Anybody answered the quiz from my name from yesterday? Is there anybody? I have the prize with me. No, if not, because we also have our dance team that you hadn't heard this, I'm going to give everybody one more day. So, the quiz from yesterday was, that's my name, the surname, okay, which is Chatziefstathiou. This is the spelling in English. Can you find the spelling in Greek? To tell me which letters are different. There are, I can say, 2 letters less. So this is 16 letters in English. It's 14 in Greek. Which ones are these 2 letters that replace this? The prize is going to be with Valentino. I'll give it to you. Yes, no, I'm not giving you you know Greek, it's easy for you. It's about learning the alphabet. I'm always very impressed with Professor Isidori. I will ask you to be very quiet. You found it? Yes?
Sí.
Oh, we have a winner, I think, maybe. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, okay. We think the first 2 letters, so the C and the H, is a G.
Yes?
And the T and the H, nearly at the end, is a theta.
Oh, there you go. So this is a hot chocolate from England, especially for you. And if if it was a team effort, you will share, yes? You will make some nice photo collect and share. So we move on, and actually, one more a little bit. The letter phi. What is a big discipline? That Professor Isidori also is an expert in this. Phi. Anyone? Phi. Philosophia. Okay, it starts from this phi. So let's talk a little bit now about Olympism. But before, I will ask you to be very quiet. We are going to be out of this room in like 40 minutes maybe. And then we have a very nice day in the stadium. So I really want you to... I want to be able to listen to what I want to say, because Valentino brought me all the way from England through Athens to come to Olympia and to share this knowledge together with you. For me, this place is very special, because you may not know, but everything started exactly here. In 1998, I came here in Olympia as a student, almost like you, a little bit older. And I came here to be for 2 weeks in one of the young participant sessions. And I was very inspired. If you stay in Olympia and you feel it, you breathe it, you really understand what all this thing is about, Olympism and the values. You really feel the energy. You will see it in the archaeological stadium as well. So after I left from here, I felt I have to do something about the Olympic values. And then I came back again here in 2002, and I stayed in these rooms here for 6 weeks to do a postgraduate program here. And again, I was very inspired. And my PhD, my doctorate, is all about the International Olympic Academy. It was about Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the Games, but I spent days and days in the library here researching what is so magical about that place. This place was founded in 1960s, together with the archaeological site from German excavators. And since then, every year, there are so many sessions from around the world. So what I did was to analyze what people who were coming here talking about. Why is it so big to talk about Olympism? Does it matter? Is it important? Do we care? And I want to explain to you why there is value to it. So let me just, I want you to travel with me here, and let's travel a bit. So we have Olympism. Olympism is a word that did not exist in ancient Olympia, did not exist in ancient Greece. It's all new. It was conceived, it was coined, as they say, it was created from Baron Pierre de Coubertin in 1894. He thought, okay, let's make something that is inspired from ancient Greece, but it's new. And he put this ending ism. Usually we see ism in philosophies like Marxism or ideologies of philosophies, humanism. So he added this Olymp from Olympia with ism. That is the ending of this philosophy. And then after he said, okay, what we want this to encapsulate is something very important. And I want you to remember this. So Olympism was about three things. Nothing more. Three important things. Sport, culture, education. So they said that culture, we have a lot of philosophies. Education, there were a lot of philosophies. But in terms of combining sport and culture and education, there was nothing before. So actually, is inspired from ancient Greece, it's inspired from the values of humanism in terms of having the human at the center, inspired to be a better person, but always through the use of sport. And that is all the magic about it. So if we go back, I don't want to go to much further. Professor Isidori, that I admire, I would say, use him. Use Professor Isidori. His knowledge is incredible. He's an open encyclopedia. And he knows so well anything about ancient Greece. I don't want to go too much in the past. I want to connect you with modernity, with modern. So all these beautiful values of agonality, the philosophy that Professor Isidori mentioned, they were inspiring Baron Pierre de Coubertin. Do you all understand what I'm saying in English? Yes? So Pierre de Coubertin was from France, and he said, okay, let's revive the Olympics. I'm not going to go into detail, but the Greeks and Coubertin, there was a very interesting relationship there. Because Coubertin wanted the games to travel around the world, and the Greeks felt, we love the Olympics, let's have them always in Greece. So there was a little bit of political problems there, but then he managed to actually have the Olympic Games traveling around the world. So the Hellenic values of body, mind, and spirit, they were all through and through in this philosophy of Olympism. I'm going to pass this, but I'm going to talk about a few specific values. And I will we can be here and talk about a lot of values. I just want to zoom in just a few values that they were inspiring Coubertin, and then I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to find there some of the values that they are used today. So just a few of these values that I will talk about is fair play, excellence, beauty. I'll show you. So fair play, and as I said yesterday, my name is in Italian. I don't know in Dutch how it is, but it's giusta, it means fair. And when I was younger, they were always asking me, are you going to be a lawyer? Are you going to be a lawyer? And I thought, maybe, I don't know, maybe I will do something that relates to fairness. But I hadn't thought about, when I started doing Olympics, when I started talking a lot about fair play, then it clicked and I said, how weird, actually, I'm doing what my name talks about. And my name is Dikaia, which means fair, δίκαιο παιχνίδι, fair play, ev αγωνίζεστε. Ev αγωνίζεστε is about playing well, winning well. I've been in a lot of discussions with UNESCO, for example, I work with the International Olympic Committee, and they say competitive sport is not good. It's better not to have competitive. Some of these debates, there are debates, and some say, well,